Hi there. So are you a digital artist who afraid to use the AI in your work, think it is ethical? In this video, I want to show you why you're wrong and why you should treat is different. I'll show you some examples how you can use it. And first off, keep in mind, AI generated work, art, it is just a tool. It is like any other tool in the hands of different creators, can be create something nice or it can create something good, and it's how people to use. Exactly same as a photo camera can be good to create, to document, or it can produce some lies or very inappropriate images. So it's all in the hands of those who work with this. So let's look on the AI what is actually how to use. And you may be familiar with some stuff like this AI will make this image make a big noise because apparently person does not say the original image was created with AI, and it's won some prizes. However, if you actually read, the person was after render done quite a bit time to retouch this inside the Photoshop and a touch, so it was the base work for him. Or, for example, another things when people come and posted image like this from National Geographic where AI created very close to this. Well, however, some of those is specially created for the hype and attention grabbing because, like I said before, any tool can be used in one way, and you can actually specify to AI create exactly the same copy. So it's not. In some cases, you can do copies of Mona Lisas. Like this person. Does he stealing this art because he created hundreds of Mona Lisas and sell? And he did say it's his painting because literally he paint this. Does it consider stealing or it's considered inspiration? So I'm not a lawyer, I'm not in the court, and I don't want to decide on this. What I want to do is showing you how you can use it inside your work and feel it's ethical work. First, of course, you can use it as a reference. You can use this as creating the concept art, creating for your digital art, and also you can create as a digital backdrop. Digital backdrops can be anything you wanted. And I'll show you example what I'm using, but here's clouds render. It can be digital background, you can have it space background, asteroid, space, and you can actually compose with those elements. Of course, you can compose more with the elements, a little bit more complex, or some like this. And you can use this composing into the Photoshop, or you can actually project directly to the screen. So here is an example. It was shot on the rear projecting screen where we took this AI render image and projected on the background up front of the model, so we have it kind of look some nice touch up. So this is one way. Or you can also just create, as I said before, one scenery or details of the scenery and use then your compositing to put it as a backdrop. And those backdrops can be permanent or very subtle. It's up to you how you like to do. As well, you can use them as a textures to apply on top of yours, so you can render different components. And components can be anything different. Like for example, a background grass, you can put it as texture over rocks, some clouds layer, maybe some even particle explosions, and included even eyes overlay. So sometimes maybe you need it like dragon eye to replace in something. You can render, take this element and put it, and it's make much easier just to create it instead going inside the clip art and try to search somebody work. And here's interesting things. If you're going on like compositing Photoshop groups everywhere, and people posted work and they call this art, but many of those was created from the images took by another people. So they take images from everywhere, combine together and call it their own work, which is fine because they did some work process. But same here, only instead taking images of from other people, you actually taking and creating an AI. So the compositing work or the reference work maybe create, it's a one way to use it AI. So as a parts, as a concept, as a background. Another things I found actually very, very useful for me, it used as palette reference. What I was meaning by palette. Many times if I like color or something, I have this device and many other ones. This is data color, which is check colors for me. So when I need it, I go press it and it's giving me Python color that I can use in my next work. But you can do much easy inside the AI now. Example, and I will show you strings afterwards what are we going to do. But right here, it is steampunk and it says color palette for steampunk thing. So it's giving me image and also it's render color reference on the side of this. So I can easily pick on that. Same things you can see right here, the color palette for atom punk style. And there's a colors on the side, very easy to pick. Here's a color palette for the spring colors. Notice how this, it's showing me image, what colors will look, but it's also render this color. It does add sometimes unwanted artifacts, but for me, I don't care at this point because this is just a reference of the colors and also showing me how this color combination can work together. So let's go ahead and try some of these prompt and I'll show you tips and tricks how you can create some of these prompts and for your use in your work. Okay, I'm going to switch to fast mode so the faster render and showing directly. Let's start with, for example, if I want to create like explosions or sparks. So we'll go to imagine, and by the way, will work on many other render on models because they actually will look for about specific things. So let's go right here. First, I want isolated. So we need to specify that is isolated white smoke. So I said what I needed. Now black background. Usually I start with simple strings and we'll add more as we're going. So this is isolated white smoke, black background. You can also specify, for example, it's a twisted, rising up, spread in every direction, but we'll just start with this. And while this one is rendered, another ones we can do also. For example, imagine isolated explosion sparks and a black background. Notice what I'm doing. I'm specifying, and the reason why I'm specifying like black background or other ones, because what mode we're going to use inside the Photoshop. With a smoke, because it's white, most likely we'll use it screen mode or soft light. In this case, the black will be kind of removed and we'll more focus on the white. Notice what we have right here, and we have it perfect. We have this smoke created. Okay, so it's a render based on a big collection of different smokes, but it does not exist before. So this part of that component, you can use it in your work very easy, and it's very ethical in my opinion will be, because you don't actually take some work. Right here you can see the start sparks background going. Right now I'm render square, so I can move it and place it. And this is nice, isolated explosion, spark on a black background. Look where we have it, perfect, just very nice. We can take it, isolate it, and compose it in our image. Normal voice when when using like background or the backdrop or other things won't create people. So for example, if I want to create backdrop with Rococo, I can say Rococo style guest room pastel colors backdrop. And one thing what I like to specify, I want to say sharp, so I don't want any depth of field because I can add this after. Well lead. Okay, yeah, let's go like that. And we say backdrop. Yeah, let's go backdrop. If any people will be, you can say no people, but I think that will work as well. And many backdrops depend how you're doing. If you're portraits or you're doing landscape, So you can select. Here's example. This is all digital shot in a studio with a setup settings, but you can see this is more a portrait style. So in this case, we can go inside our and say portraits. It will be aspect ratio AR, and we have it or 9:16 or 3:2. I'm actually 2:3. 2 will be horizontal and 3 will be vertical. So we can go and create this way. Okay, and right here we have it, our backdrop created for us. Notice what we have it, perfect backdrop. It can be as a concept if you need setup, but it's very nice to going in replace, made much easy. Because tell you true, when I photo shoot those, it take me hours to set up, and they look same sadly, because from model to model, I set up one background and they look kind of same. You needed more invest in different settings and everything. With this way, you can shoot on the 50% gray and very easy compose, and you have a beautiful settings, very unique with the style you can go. Okay, so let's go ahead. We set up this background. We can do portraits or landscape in this case. And as you saw before, for the colors, for example, we can have it imagine palette, color palette for cyberpunk theme. So we can go this way and just let's render. This is again will render as a square image for us right now. And here we have it, our image with a color palette on the side, which is kind of nice at showing what colors used inside. They're not necessarily can be very, like right here you can see kind of split palette, but general it will work very well and it will represent nicely colors for you. So general, this is kind of helpful for me. You can also use it in many other ways as you need it, like for example inspirational portraits and other things. The one thing, what if you don't feel comfortable with copying other artists, just don't specify the artist style. For example, don't say like I want image in Picasso style, because then AI will going and create in Picasso style. However, you can always do this as a concept art, as inspirational in just looking on this. For example, when I do oil painting or other things, I may go and render a lot of different concepts just to create this creative spark inside of me by looking and see what is happening. All what we created, everything, is created from our observations of the world, and our observations based on the history, art, and everything else that many thousands generations of people created before us. So wherever you're creating, you already base it and copy somebody else's style or somebody else's knowledge. You just build on top of this. Same as with AI. What if you're using properly this as a tool, you're not stealing, you just utilize, express access to the knowledge of the people that they created. Well, hopefully this video kind of inspire you, showing different ways you can use the AI art. If you're more interested, I will recommend you to watch some of my videos where going step by step techniques how I am creating this the compositing of the work. That may help you as well to see how you can take different components and put them together. That is probably useful. And if you're interested more on the prompts, I have special videos where I'm going in depth on the prompts we used with AI. Thank you for watching and have a great day.